Listen to me. I need you to understand something right now. Excuses don't pay the bills. Results do. You can talk all day about why it didn't work out, why life isn't fair, why you didn't get the chance. But at the end of the day, the bank don't care about your story. The landlord doesn't care about your reasons. The world doesn't stop and say, oh, you had a tough week. Let's give you a break. A break. No. The world looks at what you produced, what you delivered, what you accomplished. That's what speaks. That's what gets rewarded. Some of you are living in the same place year after year, not because you don't have talent, not because you don't have the ability, but because every time it gets tough, you choose to give an excuse instead of getting a result. And you don't even realize you're training yourself to lose. Every excuse you tell yourself is like putting bricks in a backpack and then wondering why you can't run. You're slowing yourself down with stories when you could be setting yourself free with results. See, people love to tell me, E.T., you don't understand my situation. You don't know what I've been through. And you're right, I don't know all of it. But I know this, every person who's ever made it had a reason to quit. They had a story they could have leaned on. They had obstacles stacked against them. But instead of rehearsing those excuses, they produced results. And when you produce results, nobody asks about the excuses. They don't even matter anymore. The result speaks louder than the reason. You think the championship team goes back to the locker room after the game saying, man, we would have lost if the refs had been unfair, if the weather had been tough, if the other team was stronger. No, winners don't need to explain why it didn't happen because they made it happen. The scoreboard says it all. Nobody argues with the scoreboard. Nobody debates the results. That's the difference between a winner and a loser. A loser will spend hours building the perfect excuse, but a winner will put that same energy into building the result. And here's the truth. When you start living by results, doors open for you that excuses could never unlock. Employers don't want to hear why you didn't get the project done. They want to see the project done. Your family doesn't need to hear why you can't provide. They need you to provide. The dream you have doesn't care about your reasons. It cares about your grind. You don't get to where you're trying to go by convincing yourself or others why you couldn't. You get there by producing, by executing, by finishing. Excuses are comfortable, but they leave you broke. Results are uncomfortable, but they pay off. So you've got to decide which one you want more. Do you want the short-term comfort of an excuse or the long-term reward of results? You can't have both. Life will only give you one. And every single day you wake up, you are making that choice. So today I'm asking you, what are you going to put on the scoreboard? Excuses or results? Because one fades away, but the other will speak for you long after you're gone. Let me be real with you. Success is not about how talented you are. It's about how disciplined you are. Discipline beats comfort every single time. See, everybody loves the idea of being successful. Everybody loves talking about their dreams. But when that alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m., when it's cold outside, when you're tired, when you don't feel like it, that's when you find out who's serious and who's just playing games. Comfort whispers, stay in bed, hit the snooze, do it tomorrow. But discipline shouts, get up, get moving, handle your business today. What excuses live in comfort? Discipline lives in sacrifice. And here's the problem. You can't chase comfort and expect to have success at the same time. Comfort feels good right now, but it robs you later. Discipline hurts right now, but it pays you later. That's the trade-off. The people at the top didn't get there because everything was easy. They got there because when comfort called their name, they chose discipline instead. I've seen too many people waste their potential because they never learned how to say no to comfort. They let their feelings run their life. They say, I don't feel like studying today. I don't feel like working out. I don't feel like grinding. And guess what? Their results show it. Because feelings don't produce results, discipline does. Discipline is what makes you do it when you don't feel like it, when you don't want to, when nobody's watching. Discipline says, I'll show up, I'll execute, I'll finish. And I know some of you are tired. I know you're working hard and you don't see the results yet. But that's where discipline is tested. Comfort says, quit now, it's not working. Discipline says, keep going, the results are coming. That's the fight. The only reason you're not where you want to be right now is because you keep choosing comfort over discipline. You're waiting to feel motivated instead of deciding to be disciplined. Motivation fades, but discipline lasts. Motivation might get you started, but only discipline keeps you going. Think about it. Everybody wants the trophy, but not everybody wants the training. Everybody wants the paycheck, but not everybody wants the process. Everybody wants the body, but not everybody wants the workout. The difference between wanting and having is discipline. Comfort won't give you anything but regret. Discipline will give you everything you dreamed of. So here's the challenge: stop negotiating with comfort. Stop making deals with laziness. Stop telling yourself, just one more day, just one more excuse, just one more time. You don't get results by talking about it. You get results by being disciplined enough to push past the pain, push past the excuses, and push past the temptation to quit. At the end of the day, discipline will take you where comfort never could. Every single one of us faces problems. That's life. You can't run from it. You can't hide from it. You can't wish it away. But here's the real question. What do you do when the problem shows up? Most people freeze. Most people complain. Most people sit there rehearsing everything that went wrong, repeating it over and over until the problem looks bigger than it really is. That's how excuses are born. Excuses come from a mindset that magnifies the problem and minimizes the solution. But the ones who rise, the ones who win, they don't waste time crying about the problem. They shift their entire focus toward finding the solution. See, when you're problem-minded, you're paralyzed. You're stuck in what happened, stuck in why it didn't work, stuck in who hurt you. And the more you stare at the problem, the more powerless you feel. But when you're solution-minded, you take your energy, your creativity, your determination, and you put it into action. You start saying, all right, this didn't work, so what will? This door closed, where's another door? This plan failed. What's the next strategy? Solutions live in forward motion. Excuses live in standing still. I need you to catch this. Being solution-minded doesn't mean ignoring the problem. It means acknowledging it, then refusing to let it control you. The problem is real, but so is your ability to solve it. Some of you have been staring at the same problem for months, even years, and instead of attacking it, you've been building a story around it. I can't do this because of that. I'll never have this because they stopped me. But let me tell you, the moment you shift from problem-minded to solution-minded, everything changes. Suddenly, the same wall that looked impossible becomes a challenge to climb. The same rejection that broke you becomes redirection to something better. The same failure that embarrassed you becomes a lesson that sharpens you. Do you realize that every breakthrough in history came from somebody refusing to focus on the problem and choosing instead to chase the solution? Innovators, leaders, champions, they all had reasons to stop, reasons to quit, reasons to say it couldn't be done. But they didn't let the problem define them. They let the solution drive them. They kept digging, kept searching, kept pushing until they found a way through. And this is what separates average from great. Average people use their problems as excuses. Great people use their problems as fuel. Average people spend all their time pointing fingers. Great people spend all their time finding answers. Average people say, it's too hard. Great people say, hard is where we grow. So hear me. When I say this, you can't afford to keep being problem-minded. Your destiny, your dream, your family, your future, they're waiting on you to shift. Stop magnifying the problem and start multiplying the solutions. Because excuses will always focus on why it can't be done, but results will always be built by those who dare to find the way. When it's all said and done, nobody is going to remember the excuses. Nobody's going to sit around years from now telling stories about why you couldn't make it, why you didn't step up, why you stayed the same. Excuses fade. They vanish into thin air. But results last. Results live on long after you're gone. That's what your family will talk about. That's what your children will carry. That's what your legacy will be built on. The world doesn't remember the reasons. It remembers the record. Think about it. When we look back at history, when we celebrate the greats, we don't ask about the excuses they might have had. We don't talk about the pain, the obstacles, the setbacks they faced. We talk about what they accomplished. Michael Jordan didn't get remembered because of all the injuries he played through. He's remembered for the championships, the rings, the wins. Nelson Mandela isn't remembered for the 27 years behind bars. He's remembered for the freedom he fought for and the change he brought. They all had excuses available to them, just like you do, but they didn't choose excuses. They chose results. And I need you to get this deep in your spirit. Your results aren't just about you. They're about the people watching you, the people depending on you, the people coming after you. Your excuses might feel personal, like they only affect you, but they rob everybody connected to you. Every excuse you make today is a seed of limitation planted in someone else's mind, but every result you produce is a seed of possibility planted in someone else's future. Your children won't be inspired by the story of why you quit. They'll be inspired by the story of why you refuse to quit. See, legacy isn't built on words, it's built on action. You can tell people all day that you want it to be great, but the only thing that proves it is the result you leave behind. Excuses are fragile. They break down under pressure. But results stand the test of time. Results echo. They outlive the pain, the struggle, the sacrifice. And that's why you can't keep wasting your life making excuses. Every day, you're either stacking up excuses or stacking up results. And one of those is building your future while the other is destroying it. So stop hiding behind your reasons. Stop justifying why you can't. Stop thinking tomorrow is promised. You don't have forever. Every second matters. Every choice matters. And every result you produce is shaping the story people will tell about you. When you're gone, do you really want people to say, hey, almost did it, but he had too many reasons why he couldn't? Or do you want them to say, he made it happen? Against all odds, he delivered. He left something behind that still speaks today. Because at the end of the day, excuses disappear, but results will tell your story forever.